All right, Mr. Bill, let's talk about rose care for the summer. What do we need to do? What do we need to know?
Well, it's hot. Roses don't like all the heat. Here's a little iceberg floribunda. But you can look at the color of it, and I brought an example. You want the leaves to look a dark leaf. And you notice how light colored these are.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
So I would suggest putting some fertilizer, whether it's Miracle Grow or organics or compost,
Okay.
and water that in. But it's just a little lighter color, and that's how you can. And the top stuff is newer, and the bottom's going to be a little darker than
Sure.
the top.
Sure.
And the floribundas, they have a bunch of small, and when you deadhead those, you deadhead them high. You don't go way back like a hybrid tea.
Okay.
But the fertilizers, I'll start with my horse food. It's what I use in the spring and in the fall. And now's a good time to fertilize for fall blooms. Your fall blooms are going to be your big blooms.
All right.
In the summertime, you get small blooms, and by the time you come home from work, they fall apart. It's just because of the heat.
Yeah, it's so hot.
They don't like the heat. This is alfalfa pellets that you get at the feed store. It's $15 for a 50-pound bag, goes a long way. A handful or two around the outside of the drip line.
Okay. And alfalfa pellets are what, nitrogen source?
That's just a slow release nitrogen, plus it adds to the soil, the amendments to the soil.
Okay.
So you got alfalfa pellets, and you've got cottonseed meal.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
And the cottonseed meal, you just take a handful and just kind of sprinkle it around. My go-to, I do in the spring and maybe once in the summer, but then right about now is I'm looking for those fall blooms where you're going to have a rose will go from golf ball size to softball size.
Wow, okay.
With that long, cool growing spell. Epsom salt.
Epsom salt, how about that?
It's
Okay.
great for roses, it's great for tomatoes. I mean, it's great for everything. It's a wonder drug. About a cup a bush, just kind of sprinkle it out. You can also use any of the Miracle Grows or the Peter brand water soluble. It's a little more instant, and if you got a bush that's kind of getting droopy and the heat's hitting it, it'll perk it up. It's got all the good micronutrients in it.
Okay, that's good.
And then at that point, a hardwood or a pine compost, but even good old-fashioned leaf. You got a leaf pile.
Leaf litter, right?
You know, it just sprinkle that up. It keeps the water in. It insulates the plant from the heat, and it just holds moisture in the soil.
Sure. So that's what you would prefer? Just using the leaf litter for the most part?
Well, it's cheap and you got it.
Okay.
I use a lot of hardwood mulch because it's inexpensive, and you know, 2 or 3 inches. A lot of people put an inch just to make it look good.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do much good. I mean, but about 2 or 3 inches, and just, you know, it piles up, and when you water, it makes easier watering, and it just holds that temperature down in the soil, keeps the plant cooler, and it holds water in better.
Yeah.
Now back here we've got a Mr. Lincoln hybrid tea. We've got a bloom starting here, a small bud, red growth. You got new growth popping out over here. You can see some of these leaves. The Japanese beetles have got a hold of them.
Yes.
Right now, I don't prune back very far. Typically, you want to go to a 5-leaf. If you want to deadhead a little bit, you can just cut back a minimal, just cut the dead stuff off to make the plant look better.
Okay. And let me ask you about the 5-leaf. Why do we have to cut back to the 5-leaf?
A 5-leaf is usually bigger. You know, you want to go pencil size. You want to go, a 5-leaf just has a better chance to get a new cane.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then once you prune, if you prune this, and there's a little bud or a little starting right here.
Okay.
It's going to be right here where that leaf is on that leaf axil. It's going to take, depending on how many blooms, 40 days to 45 days.
Wow.
Once you cut this off to get a cane to start, leaf out, and then a bloom.
Okay.
So now's a good time to start to get ready for those fall blooms. And just put your organics down, and it takes a while. Then another thing on this bush is, I mean, these just are brittle, just like a knockout. You can just almost break those off.
Right.
Now here, it's the reason we deadhead. You've got a rose hip, and that's making seeds, and you want to deadhead and cut those off, because if you don't, the plant thinks it's produced, and it starts slowing down.
Yeah, okay.
It's done its deal, and you cut those off, and all of a sudden it's, you know, everything starts over again, and it's trying to reproduce, and that's where you get your new blooms.
Okay. All right.
Now you always want to cut. There's some dead wood in here. As soon as you see dead, you want to cut that out, because if you don't, it could go down and you'd lose a whole cane. So as soon as you see dying part, and here, there's a hole in the middle.
Yeah, it's a hole in it.
Well, a cane borer went in there and dug a hole, and it's just going to die. So you want to, that's why you use the old-fashioned, was you'd use glue.
Yeah.
Just a little outdoor Elmer glue works great.
Okay.
And just kind of wait. And if you were going to prune this, once it cools down and it's an obvious drop in temperature and the plants are getting ready for the big blooms in the fall, you could take that bush down to here and here, maybe to here, and then you'll get big blooms and a lot of new growth.
Okay.
On the ends, you can see here, there was like 3 places. Well, what happens is, see how small the canes are?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have little small blooms. And so typically I would cut that back to here somewhere. And then you're gonna get one big bloom instead of a bunch of small blooms.
So you prefer the bigger blooms as opposed to the smaller blooms?
Well, in the
Especially
summertime, yes.
Okay.
They're gonna be small.
Small, right.
But in the fall, you want those big blooms you take in the house and or give to your friends and neighbors, church people, shut-ins. And so typically that's going to be weaker. That's why some of the knockouts get so big and tall. And if you cut it back a little bit, you'll just get much more growth, and it'll be bigger blooms and much prettier.
Gotcha.
Versus, because everything's coming at the top of the plant.
Gotcha. Okay. Mr. Bill, we appreciate that demonstration.
Well, my pleasure, Chris.
Hopefully we'll have big blooms at the end of the season, right?
We should, and you know, you can cut these off or you can leave them. It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.